you on because I've learned my lesson. No more just showing absolutely everything in the stream. Instead, I'll do preparation of boring things off stream and then the more interesting stuff on stream. So let's catch you up to what's going on here. And I've been learning some lessons actually. So let's give our Builder's Bell a strike. This is a feature that allows you to clear areas of monsters without getting any loot from them while you're working on a build project. So you just hit that bell and it makes enemies run away and then disappear. So you see how that guy's running away? And then he vanishes. Certain enemies are immune to it though, so be careful. If they're really strong enemies or empowered enemies, then they're just gonna stick around. But for the most part, you can use it to clear everything out of the way. So we've been working on this base area here, and there's a couple things I'm gonna keep in mind. First, this is an area where players can really easily get iron. So they're gonna come down into this area, and there's a view coming down of this part, right? And when I was speaking to Drakkar in our interview, which you can watch, that's a really good, that was a solid interview, by the way. It's about building, and I learned a lot from listening to him in that. But he talked about how you should like focus on the silhouette and the frame of something. So I'm gonna try and keep that in mind here. So we have our frame that will be first viewed from above by new players as they're coming down. They'll see whatever it is that we make here. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And then also, there's a lot of practical stuff going on inside this base kind of thing. And right now, like, things are sort of in, let's say, improper places. Like, there's a storage area over here, right? But it needs to be moved around, placed somewhere else. That sort of thing. So we have the working components, you know, there's the kitchen. Here's the conveyor. And the conveyor actually conveys quite well. And it separates the metal and they fall out onto these little platforms. It's absolutely adorable. I'll be showing that off later in the video. But I've also we've processed a bunch of stuff, right? Because we had all the scrap iron, we had like hundreds of scrap iron, and so we had everything processing, everything loaded up, we got loads of coal. So then we got lots of iron, and that means that we can get into the funnest building mode, which is using these wood iron poles. I say this is the most fun because it's way easier to use wood iron beams than it is to use everything else, because you can put like 30 of these in like a row and you can do all sorts of nonsense like this, for example. That just looks like wood, right? But I can put some stone on it as long as I place it properly, then the stone stays in place, right? Whereas normally you can't do that with stone. You have to connect it all to the ground and it's a huge pain. Whereas with this wood iron framing, you can actually make like a frame that is the shape you want, and then you can fill it. And you don't have to worry anywhere near as much about stability and all that. Like if you're using wood iron beams and you have like a 3-story building, you can be like really reckless with your stability and not have any kinds of problems and be totally fine. So what we're gonna do pretty much is I'm going to get some more iron in the system by doing a crypt, but I'm prepared this time. You know, I got my silver arrows and I have everything set up. And believe it or not, we even have something set up for the other end here. Just give me a moment. I'm going to put some of this nonsense away. Do need one more nonsense chest. How about we put a nonsense chest right here? This seems like a great spot for one. There we go. This is going to be a nonsense chest for us. Fantastic. I guess I should be smart though, and certainly we'll need Okay, we have ranged weapons, melee. I guess I'm alright. Got the key. And we have a little fancy thing here, see? You got this, right? Right? Fancy. And then over here, right across this is a gap. So we have to stay out of the monster's way. So the cart's in danger here, monsters will attack it. But when we have it over here, in theory, the monsters won't be able to attack the cart because the monsters have to cross this gap and they think they can't cross it because of the pathfinding. But we'll have to see, to be honest. I'm not fully sure how it'll go. I'm gonna warm up a little bit because I've been just fighting things with the builder's bell. I haven't actually been fighting things for a little bit, so I've been in squishy mode. See what's going on with this guy. If I can handle this guy, I can probably handle the crypt, I'd say. Yeah, okay. Welcome, by the way. Good morning. Good morning. I see you, Twitch viewer. Hello. And welcome on YouTube. This is probably gonna be... I'm practicing my stream schedule this week. So, yesterday is my, like, flexible day, where I start later, because I have this work meeting late on Sunday, so... I can't, like, realistically... I'm just not gonna get up early on Monday. But I can be up at a reasonable time on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So those are going to be the days that I do these kind of earlier in the day streams. And that's mostly because most of the Valheim player base and a lot of the people who play on Palm, they're in like a more European time zone, let's say. So for me right now, it is 6:43 in the morning. But for a lot of people who play on Palm or that general area, it's closer to like 12 in the afternoon, right? So we're going to start off by getting into this crypt. Let's see if I have any coins though, because I love taking a cart into the crypt. And I only have 84, so maybe I can sell something. Do I have any full stacks of anything? Yeah, here's some. I could sell this, and that's about it. I should add this to make it sellable. I haven't done that yet. So we can sell full stacks of most extra material to any diverger in the game, and then you get more coins. And when you have more coins, in Path of Magic, you can do other things, right? So here we're going to make these 3 piles of coins here. Oh no, I need to have 200 coins, so I need 2 more. Where are the rest of them? They must be in maybe this nonsense chest? Yeah, okay. And when we have 200 coins, we can go into the crypt and summon it. So let's put on some more reasonable lighting here. There we go. And I should probably get rested before I just run in here like a maniac. I have a special rested spot. I'm gonna be working on this properly later. But for now, I can just open up this menu and then the forge turns on. And I think I get rested. If I remember right, I get rested. We'll see if the enemies let me rest though. And what we're gonna be doing is a couple things. Believe it or not, I have actually set up a framework of things to do for this episode. And it's a bigger building project. And first, gonna need to get some scrap iron, because the idea is like this is a legit factory, not just like some visual factory, but like a place that you can have 200 scrap iron, and within like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it's all smelted bars, right? Like it needs to be equipped, convenient to use, practical, with accommodations, you know what I mean? I mean, like right now, you know, we're just sleeping on the wet floor here. You know, these aren't even viable beds. There's a lot of situations to fix, but the main thing is to make a big frame and then put a roof in so that things are dry, so that then we can start moving forward from there. And in order to do that, I'm going to actually first set up a situation where we have some more iron. Because right now, we have like 200 iron, I'd say, something like that. But that's probably not going to be enough for absolutely everything that we need. So what we're going to do is go get more from inside. And that's why we're starting off with some eventful crypting. And hopefully, I'll get lucky here. And I'm actually unlucky, as you can see. First off, there's one of these black borders, which is something I'll explain in a little bit. You just walk through it. But then we have this, nothing. Here, nothing. And here, also nothing. So, this is why we added a new mechanic to Path of Magic last night. And in the new mechanic, you can actually cause a dungeon to respawn by building the right amount of cores underneath of it. Unfortunately, in order for me to get the money I need in order to do that, I'm gonna have to sell a lot of the iron. But that's okay. Whoa, how did he get in here? That's not good. You're gonna take care of him, right, Mr. Foreman? Uh-oh. Something is wrong here. Something is seriously wrong. Oh, he's gone. Alright, alright, alright. So this guy, he needs some help. And luckily, the conveyor foreman is a normal diverger, and he likes stamina food. So you can just toss some food to him, and there you go. Boom. Full health. This guy's way weaker than the 2-star empowered foreman that got ganked by the Wraith. But we only have 200 coins, and to reset the dungeon, I need 900. So I'm pretty much going to have to rethink things a little bit here. And some of the iron is now going to have to get sold instead. And that'll give us enough money to reset the crypt. But the crypt, if it gets, you know, if we don't get screwed on the first part there, will give us loads of iron. So it should be okay. We should just be able to toss iron. There we go. And there we go. We get 200 coins per stack of iron. And we can only do this with the conveyor foreman. He's the only verger that you can sell smelted metal to. You can't do it with the other verger. So here we have 800 coins. And in total, we need to be able to make one pile. So we actually need to sell one more stack. Maybe I'll get away with the feathers. No, we still need about 60 more coins. So it looks like I'll be forced to sell another stack of iron. And now we really need to get more iron. But you'll see why I'm doing this in a moment, because last night we added a new feature to Path of Magic. So now we can simply go outside, and there is a crypt, and when you go inside the crypt, right, it's bad because, one, there's this box here which just has to do with the angle and the placement of other crypts, but then we get screwed on the entrances, right? There's 3 blocked passageways here, so what we want to do is reset it. Normally, we would have to wait for the weekly reset on Path of Magic, but because of the new feature, all we have to do is make a coin pile at the sunken crypt, and certain dungeons will then take the coin pile away and then reset. Boom, look at that. So we just paid 999 coins to re-roll this dungeon. And as you can see, we can open it up again, go inside, and here we have a different dungeon. And now we don't have that black box oh, no, 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 no. Got it. Don't do it, Mr. Wolf. Oof. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. I don't know what happens with these explorers, but as you can see, this is a proper dungeon, as opposed to the first one, which was all messed up. And we're almost certainly going to get more. We're almost certainly gonna get more than 990 coins from this sunken crypt. Pretty much as long as one of these first entrances is not blocked, your chance of it being a bigger crypt is pretty likely. And if then there's a second alley that has non-blocked entrances, then you're pretty much golden. Although we can already tell that this is going to be an eventful crypt, right? There's some wraiths over there, all sorts of nonsense. Luckily though, we have some tools we can use in this situation. I'm going to go complete YOLO here and do my... Oh, I didn't get it off! So I was trying to get a silver arrow off before I died, because if I die right at the entrance, then pretty much I have to enter with a bubble, and that's problematic in this situation. So, oh, great. Me dying empowered a wraith. Classic. But now I have the silver arrows, my bow, and the entrance of the crypt is going to be relatively clear. So in theory, I'll get a chance to shoot where I died, because that's where the monsters will be, and it'll be alright. But we'll see how it actually ends up playing out, because, you know, that's just theoretical. I did notice that in my body I had one eater food. So what we're going to do here is just take a little sitsy and get a rested bonus. And our someone put a roof here. I think it was Ford. Thank you. I've been, this base like barely has the things it needs to function. I've just been like crawling into the closet to sleep pretty much and that kind of thing. So we're going to be fixing all of that today. I feel like this is the point where this base turns around and goes from being a cluttered, disorganized mess to an actual fun place to play in. But maybe I'm just being pretentious. We'll have to see, won't we? And I'm gonna set up our ultra cart. We have our little cart lobby, our little cart booth here. Keeps it safe, and we can take it right up to the beginning here. It's so funny how that pickable stuff. It's like from the dungeon, but it pulls out of the dungeon and ends up like being around it, right? So we have our ultra cart. It's ready to go. We have our silver arrows. All right, let's see if this plan worked. I should be able to have like a couple second advantage here, and I should be able to shoot something over there. Uh-oh. Oh, that didn't work at all. And now I have the problem I tried to avoid, because there's a wraith at the entrance. So that means I have to get a bubble shield, which means I need to have something attack me. And conveniently, there's, you know, the fact I'm realizing, well, I upgraded the star levels of pretty much everything planes and after. So now the swamp monsters are stronger. Which is interesting because it's going to make getting a bubble shield even harder. In this case, I don't want to get a bubble from these 2-star Draugr. That is an unfortunate idea at best. So instead, I'm just going to try and get them wrecked that way. The skeleton might work, though. There we go. This guy. He might be able to give me a buff. There we go. Okay. Now we have our bubble. And we can run away. And it would probably be good to have another builder's bell like right here, just to clear the mobs from the outside, because now these mobs are going to attack the cart, which is obviously problematic. But I want to be smart and not waste a bunch of time, so what I'm actually going to do is make another builder's bell at a more convenient location. So in order to make the builder's bell, what we need is some iron. And this is going to allow us to make iron nails, because iron nails are the thing that allow us to make the darkwood chair. And to make the builder's bell on Path of Magic, you need to make 3 darkwood chairs. So, just gonna get this nonsense out of the way real quick. I love how they actually run away. Like they're like, okay, we don't want to fight you anymore. We can go, we can go. It's like genuinely entertaining. All right, I need to use a hammer, and I was smart and didn't just make a new one for the 100th time. And we are looking for the darkwood chair. We need to make 3 of these, but in like an accessible spot that isn't too close to this crypt. And it's gonna be right here. So you place 1, 2, and then the 3rd one you place determines the actual rotation of the builder's bell. I'm gonna try and like center it a little bit and have it facing that way. We can only have 1 builder's bell. That's right, that's right. So, do we want to get rid of that one and have the one out here? I think I'll just do that just to show you the mechanics. Because you can easily remove builder's bells. All you have to do is go up to the bell and then type remove. And then the bell will go away. And now, if I try and rebuild that spot we were just at right here, I'm gonna try and rebuild one of these chairs. We're gonna go with that one. Then boom, because there isn't a builder's bell nearby, it actually got built. And this way, if I get into any trouble outside the crypt, I can just hit the builder's bell. It has no impact on enemies that are up high or in dungeons. So pretty much it's just gonna clear out the enemies that are near the base of the crypt, which is gonna keep our ultra cart safe and sound. So probably I'll be alright. But now that I've shown you that, I actually lost the original reason that I went there anyway, and then I feared all the monsters away. So I'm just gonna try and get in and hope that I don't get instantly meleeed as soon as I enter this crypt. But you know, no guarantees there. Whoa, okay, that's a new strategy. We'll see if I dodged it. I definitely hit the wraith though. So in theory now I can just run in and hopefully, yeah, the wraith died. All right, now I can probably not get ganked by the lightning. Yeah, it looks like they're just far enough away that I'm all right. But you see, there is a spawner over there, and because of the spawner, I'm having more issues, right? Really, frost arrows would be absolutely awesome. Hello, Kit Fury. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, the builders love the builders' bells. They're really cool. I'll make a tutorial about them at some point. I have a new tutorial schedule and a whole, like, actual schedule for this channel and everything. This week is still like a practice thing, but next week, in theory, we'll see how it goes. But I have the live streaming schedule, and then I'll also be outputting 3 YouTube tutorials about EWP, often showing off things like the builder's bell, how it works, how to make your own, etc., etc. Because a lot of these like mechanical changes are really fun, to be honest, and they help people do more things with Valheim that they like. Ooh, snap. Hey, we got lucky. So if you just noticed, there was like that special VFX, and then a box, and in the box was a bunch of building supplies. And pretty much on Path of Magic, you can get these things called builder's boxes. And when you get a builder's box, everything, it sort of picks it based on what biome you're in. And there's like 18 different builder's boxes, and they're meant to like inspire you to build something based on resources that you find, you know? Yeah, and kid, it is a lot of things, but that's the idea. Like, if I play my cards right, this is my job, and I won't earn a lot of money, but I get to live a happy life and work on Valheim most of the time and practice game development. So I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that's what occurs. And I'm really lucky though, because I'm in a situation where I just need to earn like a couple $100 more and I'll be fine, because I live in Nicaragua and things are cheap here. Whereas if I lived in the US, like I'd have to get like a more full-time job or something. And then obviously I wouldn't be able to do this sort of thing as much, so it's really a blessing that I'm able to have the free time that I do, so that I can spend so much time working on Valheim stuff. I don't know if it'll always be like that, but for now, it is, so I'm happy. Alright, this is a classic problem where you have a, like, double spawner situation, and the enemies come out so fast, oh gosh, double archer, that it's sort of a pain to deal with, right? So we're gonna try and... Oh, there's an empowered wraith there. Yikes. Oof. Oh, I can get a bubble. Okay, okay. Yeah, I have corpse run, so I'm gonna just use that real quick. Oh no! I see. There's so many spawners in here. Okay, okay. I see why this place is the way it is. I'm gonna leave. All right. We're saved by the bell here though, because I have one eater food. So now I can use the Staff of Fracturing and actually clear out the spawners in that room, which is a freaking gnarly place. Absolutely gnarly. Look at all this nonsense. Oh, and it's not even the spawners I want to clear out, is it? It's the... Oof. Ah, yeah. Ah, I forgot. For some reason I thought that the staff, I could just spam it, but I didn't even have any mana. Oh, and you know what that means. I probably didn't have the arrows equipped, right? So I bet the silver arrows are now not in my inventory anymore. Is that right? Oh no, they're still equipped. Okay. All right, I'm probably fine then, to be honest. Let's just grab some food. At least we actually have... Oh no, but I used the eater food. Ah, whatever. I guess it's silver arrow time anyway. Realistically, that's like my best option for these crypts. Here we go. We gotta go to our little rested spot. And a great opportunity to sip on some tea. I love how chaotic these are, to be honest. For me personally, like, that's like what I'm focused on with the EWP stuff on Path of Magic. I want to keep doing these dungeons and figure out, like, how can we make it so there is a recurring loop of, like, doing dungeons, getting materials, and building, so that you can pretty much use a dungeon as, like, a source of material and ingredients for different builds. Like, I really want to lean more into that and lean more into ways to get players to actually build more often. And I think the dungeons are key to that. So that's why I'm, like, so interested in changing dungeons around. But not like making different dungeons, making the dungeons that already exist more rewarding and more challenging. So that's kind of like why I'm doing what I'm doing, if that makes sense. It's like practice for that. And see, we got a Crom earlier, but I don't have a Black Forge yet. So I'm just gonna put that away for now and get back on the mace and dagger life here. But we're prepared. We got our silver arrow, we got our bow. So hopefully we can just land a hit on one of those crazy monsters. There's so many more strong monsters now. What a pain. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Hey, there we go. I can't actually see what's going on over there, but as you can tell, there's nonsense. That's so satisfying. Now I just have to find that freaking wraith. Here we go. It's funny because you don't actually get the silver's like very high damaging effect. You won't get that if the enemy gets killed by a surprise attack. So here we go. Oh, this mace is just beating them back, isn't it? Gosh dang. This is a heavy crypt. I'm like desperately trying to deal with this. Okay, I have a new strategy. I'm leaving. I need frost arrows. I need some like suppressive AoE thing that can actually damage the spawners. Otherwise, I'm just not going to be able to. So, let's see. We have poison, fire, other kinds of arrows, but no frost arrows, of course. But I can make some frost arrows. I guess I need a workbench area, though, huh? So far, we only have, like, areas for the diverger, and we've been trying to incorporate, like, visibility of the conveyors into the factory, right? So this guy, oh, he's a whole other thing, which I'll show you pretty soon. But pretty much you can, that's a diverger blacksmith, right? If I open this gate, we can see their name. If I get over there, no, that's fine. That's a diverger blacksmith, and you have multiple features that you can do. For example, if I do say blacksmith, I think it is, then we see what the blacksmith services are. And we can temper our gear, empower our gear, or strengthen our gear. But for now, we're not going to worry about any of that. I'm going to show that later. What I'm interested in is getting some arrows here. So let's like make a crafting area. We need like a basic functioning crafting area, because I've been getting by without one somehow, which seems very brutish. Let's see how these iron beams handle this. What we're gonna do is clip up a bunch of grouse in here and see if it goes into place. I think it might actually. Iron's pretty awesome. Now let's see, is that enough to... Yeah, here we go. Now I can just close this down. So we're just gonna do something very, very simple. Very basic. I'm not trying to do anything fancy yet. We just want a reliable wall so that we can craft our stuff on it. There we go. I'm assuming now that this will give shelter. There we go. So we should just be able to make our ghetto bench. And yeah! Awesome, awesome. Let's see. We can do that. Is that enough to make some goodness here? What do we need for frost arrows? Let's see. Frost arrow. Need a level 4. Alright, we have enough things, so I can fix the situation, because frost arrows are really good. Really, really good. So, what will we need, though? We'll need all of these things. And I need flint in order to do that. I'm trying to remember. I think I can buy flint, to be honest. Let's see. I'll check the floor trade system. But you know, this shows me that what I need to do is add... I need to actually add a, like, say command so you can go floor trade like this. And then it'll do, like, with blacksmith, right? You can just do this and then you see everything. So I need to add one of those for floor trade. So I'm going to add that to my list, because if I don't add things to the list, I completely forget about them. So here we go. Add, say, floor trade list. Alright. Whereas with the diverger traders, there is a mechanic to learn what the divergers trade, right? Like, you just have a diverger, and let's say I have an item like one entrail, I just toss it, and then he tells me what he pays for a full stack of that, right? If you give the diverger 50 entrails, you'll get 150 coins. So that's covered. But for the floor trading system, currently, the people have to go into Discord, basically, and then look at the channel to look at this chart thing. And it'd be better if it's in-game, right? So, like, this is what I'm talking about. You see this? This is the chart that people have to look at to know what they can get. And we can see that we can purchase 470 flint, no, sorry, 30 flint for 470 coins. But there's no way to access this in the game. So pretty much I have to figure that out. And for now, all we need to do is find 470 coins, or sell 470 coins worth of stuff. We barely have anything right now, so it looks like the rest of our iron basically is gonna get sold, and that'll be enough money. That'll be enough money to fix the situation. It won't actually even be a full amount, will it? Because we'll get 400 coins. And I actually need 470. So I actually still need to sell some more stuff. So let's see. What do we have? None of that's sellable. Oh, we have a bunch of ooze. Okay, that's probably enough now that we can combine that with this ooze. Yeah, full stack of ooze. There's our coins. Nice. Hey, ooze is 200 coins. Fancy. Now we have 600 coins, and that's enough for us to get our flint, right? So all I have to do is make one of the right pile, right? And in this case, it's 470 coins. Toss it on the floor, and then say bye. And there we go. We have our 30 flint. And now that we have 30 flint, we'll be able to make some of the workbench extensions that we weren't able to make earlier. You know, we still have a leather scrap shortage, but that's okay because the crypt itself has loads of leather scrap. So I think we'll be able to deal with that. Whereas the bronze has to be crafted. I feel like there is bronze just lying around somewhere, to be honest. Yeah, it's in the cart. There we go. Yeah, the cart stuff, it doesn't get noticed, right? So you need to put the crafting materials basically in this. And now we should have what we need except the leather scraps, but that's much better. So I think it's okay actually, because we only needed level 4 workbench. And this will be the 3rd extension, which should be level 4. There we go. And there is our frost arrow. That's what we were going for this whole time. All I need is a few of them, and it's going to drastically turn around the situation in the crypt. We're really armed, actually. Just on Path of Magic, just a fine wood bow and some silver arrows and some frost arrows is enough to get you through a lot of tough situations. So I just have to make sure that I don't nerk myself with the frost arrows. But we have a situation with the spawners. So I got to try and hit the spawner with the frost arrow. Basically before these things notice that I'm a problem. And it looks like I got one of them back there, but I'll have to use the silver arrow right at the beginning here. And I might eat a shot. We'll see. There we go. Oh, I killed him. Yeah, so if you kill them on the first hit, then you don't get the buff, the extra damage. So you don't always get like a strong undead power explosion. That only happens if you shoot an enemy and they don't die from the hit and they're not already burning. Okay, so let's see if we got lucky here. Yeah, it looks like we did. We're all right. Oh. Thank gosh. Oh no, it broke. What do I do? Mace. All right. Look at all this nonsense. So much nonsense. Whoa, lava blob. Oh, okay, I'm leaving. Well, that almost certainly cleared out the entrance of that crypt. And we can already see we're getting some nonsense, right? But I think that's probably fine. That lava blob almost certainly exploded. Yeah, there we go. And that's how we get that powder. And now, I think because I got a crypt back here. Whoa. Okay, we still have to deal with this wraith, but aside from that, the spawners were damaged, it looks like. Yeah, so now we just have this wraith guy. And I don't think he's going to be so bad, but he's definitely going to hurt me a lot if he hits me. So let's try not to have that happen. Oh gosh. Oh! Well, he definitely hurt me. Oh, we're good now though. We're good. Those spawners, they were really making problems for us. So now it'll be much more manageable. And I'll also get into this over here. I'll be able to actually repair my dagger. I almost got wrecked earlier because I forgot to. Classic situation, really. And I'm excited here because this area, normally I'm all about high visibility. But this area, I mean, the view of the bridge going up over there is kind of cool. But this part, I can just block it off, right? So I'm going to try and make like this castle thing. But as you saw earlier, I sold all of the iron to be able to get more iron. So now I have to deal with that part of the reality. Let's have our little sit-see. I really appreciate that Valheim has breaks, to be honest, because it gives you chances in real life to like stretch or get some water or something. How did he escape? They're not letting me rest. No, I did get rested. I don't know how that works, but okay. What happened here? How did you get out? What? You just jumped the fence? You little bugger. Alright. I learned from previous experience that if your verger gets out, you should assume bad things are gonna happen. So that skeleton needs to go away. So this guy stops freaking out. Because when they're freaking out, you can't really move them around unless you use a harpoon, and I find that to be a little bit unethical. So instead, what we're gonna do is just make him a bigger cage so he stays still. Let's see, do we have what we need for that? Just need some iron. Yeah, alright. I guess one of these works. We're just gonna take this away. Calm down, it's okay, it's okay. They're gone. The skeletons are gone. He's still frazzled though. Hey, there we go. Now, once they're calm, you can just like slide them around basically. Then they become very placid. Flat. Ooh, is that even the right word? I don't know what that word means. I thought it meant plausible? No, what does it mean when something's malleable? Yeah, like you can move it around like clay. That's the word I meant to use, but I think it means something else. Hey, more tar. That's funny. We get so much tar here, to be honest. I should probably turn the tar rates down, because having enough tar for the roofs is lovely. But at the same time, oof, having hundreds, it's not ideal. There's already enough item management. Okay, how am I going to deal with this guy? He's coming to deal with me. Okay, I see. He's made that decision for us. It looks like we're going to be silver arrowing him. And hoping for the best. Yeesh! Luckily that lightning only gets you right at that moment. Whew. Alright, so since we killed an empowered monster after being slaughtered multiple times, we get a treasure chest, and look at that, it's full of iron. Lucky day. And when you get the empowered chests, you have to loot it quickly, because if you don't, it's going to disappear. And it disappears after like 30 seconds whether you loot it or not. But it's just a way to like incentivize fighting the empowered monsters, right? That's the whole idea behind it. And as you can see, we're already getting more items and everything. So look at all these freaking hammers. That's why I was trying not to make new hammers, but apparently I've already messed that up completely. So I need a cart already. That's like the obvious part of the crypt experience, right? So let's see if there's enough coins just lying around. for us to be able to make a cart. I think I had 200 coins that I brought in originally, but then I sold everything. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, right? I've had to sell everything multiple times, it seems. 19 amber, there we go. That'll be enough to give us a full pile. I also have a bunch of nonsense here as well, so why don't we put this stuff away here, and maybe also this coal. And now I'll have enough stuff in my inventory so that I can get what I really need, which is a cart. And you know, maybe I'll be ballsy and I'll sell the Surtling cores and get a bigger cart instead of just a cheap one. Hello, Nissa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, it is very early. This is actually when it's like a better time for me to start streaming earlier, because there's people who like play on the server, and when I stream later in the day, for me, it's like 2 a.m. for them, basically. So I'm setting up a schedule where 3 days I stream roughly around this time, but then 2 days a week I have a later time, so I can reach like multiple different time zones, but we'll see how it goes. I've been like on this first test month with the streaming pretty much, so I'm trying to pay a lot of attention to what I actually do, if that makes sense, like when I have energy, when I'm able to stream, because I noticed that if I stream at night, it's way harder for me personally to like stay entertaining and keep narrating and sound like awake and alert and confident. I can do that earlier in the day, even if I'm sleepy. I just love Valheim, so once I like start playing it, I just get excited about it pretty much. But later in the day, I get like tired, and I can start going like you know what I mean? I lose my ability to narrate, sort of. So I'm more paying attention to that at the moment and figuring out like when I can stream regularly that I can be strong, right? But I think I've got a sense of it, so we'll see. The next month it'll be a little different because I'll actually have all the data from this month pretty much. But for now, we're just selling some different things, and you can actually sell trophies now. So I didn't think about that, but that really helps our coin situation. So now we got the big bucks. Morning bell. Oh god! Oh gosh! Oh gosh! No, don't do it! Don't do it! It's a wraith! Don't do it! Ah! Where did that come from? I did not see you at all. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Yes, yeah, Nissa. So Nissa says that's just on your server, right? And yeah, on Path of Magic, and any server that has Bepin X on it, you could add this, and it wouldn't require any mods from the players. But basically, here, I'm just going to use the bell here. Same thing with this bell, right? I can strike the bell, and then it fears all the enemies nearby, and then they just leave, and then they vanish. So you can't, like, get the loot from them, but you clear the place, which obviously is useful in this particular situation. But you're right, it's not normal to be able to sell trophies, but on Path of Magic, the Dverger are all merchants. So, they killed him? No, they killed him? No! Alright, I guess I have to summon a new Dverger. Speaking of it, I guess now I'll show you the mechanic, because that situation killed the Dverger I had there. So basically, we need to get a new Dverger. That genuinely surprised me. But basically, yeah, so trophies accumulate. So on Path of Magic, we have different ways to deal with actually the accumulation of things. And the idea is that everything that accumulates can be processed into coins, and then those coins can be used to accommodate your playstyle. Usually building stuff. Really, if you don't build, then the coins, they're more likely to accumulate. But that's the idea. Make a loop between doing dungeons and using coins to respawn dungeons and sell things, and it makes like a more long-term lasting gameplay loop. That's the general idea. Constevs, I apologize, I'm bad at these pronunciation things, says, hey, an awesome server, played a bit yesterday, but there was nobody else at the moment. Yeah, yesterday was slower. I didn't stream yesterday, I sort of took the day off. In general, Path of Magic is more active on like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. That's like the most active times. It's a little early for the server right now. Like, I'm doing the stream now, but usually people would be playing a little bit later. But Path of Magic is designed so that different play groups can be on the server in different places, and individuals can be playing and progressing, and nobody messes with each other's progression. You don't have to deal with any raids or that kind of thing. So I encourage you to join whenever, and if nobody's playing at your time schedule, then it's just a matter of finding other people who are in your same time zone who are interested. And if you can just get like one or two other people to be on around the same time you are, then that's usually enough to make it feel more interesting. But I totally feel you. There are like certain times, especially like if it's like 2 or 3 a.m. my time, then like no one's on the server. But like 10 hours later than that, there might be like, 3 to 6 people on the server depending on the day. But for now, I'm gonna show you the traders, because this is something I think I'm gonna make more content about separate from Path of Magic, because the Divergers play a huge role in Valheim that isn't really played right now in the base game, and it's pretty easy to add a patch that makes the Diverger useful. So now I'll show you the basics of the Diverger traders mechanic in Path of Magic, because it's not like they just buy a couple things. They buy like almost everything that accumulates. So pretty much you need to get coins, and you'll need to get 999 coins so that you can basically make one of these piles of coins. When you make a pile of coins, you summon it into a Diverger trader by doing Say Trader. Depending on the situation that you summon the trader into, you'll get something different. Like in this case, over here, we have a Diverger blacksmith, essentially. And I've actually blocked it off so you can't mess him up. But there you go, you see Diverger blacksmith. But he has to be in a cage for their own safety. The Diverger blacksmiths are some of the most notoriously destructive Diverger that there are, and you're surely gonna see what I mean, and you'll understand why they have to be kept in cages. But as I mentioned, depending on what situation you spawn the trader into, they'll turn into something different. So because this trader is spawned next to a forge, it turns into a blacksmith. Whereas this trader over here, the one that we need, the conveyor foreman, is triggered by being near a kiln. So if we place those coins from earlier right here, and then we do Say Trader, boom, oh, I messed everything up, and we got a blacksmith. And that's actually because right there, you see this? Right there is a forge. So that really ruined everything, because now I don't have a foreman, and I have this blacksmith, this extra blacksmith just chilling around. So pretty much I'll have to sell some more stuff, but we only need 200 more coins, so it should be okay. And you can see how it's basically the capitalism trap, right? Because you're always getting more money, but then you're always spending the money too, and so you end up with nothing. And that is the balance. Like, pretty much, if that's how the coin system is working, you can buy and sell lots of stuff, but you're always running out of coins. That is a sign that it's working. Makes sense? So I'm not claiming that it's perfectly balanced right now. It's definitely not. But if there are more uses for coins than there are sources for them, then you're always running out of coins, and you always want coins, and therefore coins are more fun. Make sense? That's the like logic behind it. But in this case, I guess I gotta sell some more metal again, because I need to summon a blacksmith. Although I can't even sell any more metal. So I guess at this point we just have to accept that I don't have a foreman for the moment, and I don't have the money to get a foreman, but that's okay, because we do have the money to summon a cart inside the crypt. And that was, in all honesty, the original intention. So I'm gonna get back on track here, and we're gonna take our crypt money in, so to speak. We have 200 coins, and we have some nonsense out here. Let's see. Here's some more coins. None of this is sellable, unfortunately. What we need is, I think, 504 coins. Let's see. Hey, Jake in the Bushes says they ran to Ashlands yesterday and almost made it back. Hey, congratulations. Yeah, this path that you see behind me, this is actually coming down from the center of the world. It goes through this swamp area over here, across an ocean, through a bunch of other stuff, over some plains, through a long stretch of mistlands, across an ocean again, and then through the entirety of the Ashlands and beyond. So if you ever want to join on like an old character on Path of Magic, you can literally just join and like see where the path goes and explore. It's not like you need to start a new character. So anybody's welcome, and if you want to, you can get the information you need just by looking for it in Discord. And you'll find a link to the poolside Discord, and that has the server information, and that's how you find everything you need for the Path of Magic. Nissa, I just saw your comment. You could sell trophies. Yeah, exactly. I still can, though, because the blacksmiths are Diverger, and I know it's confusing, but Diverger traders are all Diverger, so you don't need a special Diverger to do most of the trades. However, certain Diverger, like the blacksmith and the conveyor foreman, they have extra features, right? And so that's what was going on here. I'm realizing I probably need a mechanic to like respawn basically the Diverger to trigger it to be the one you want, because it's obviously, this is a playtesting like thing, right? I was just playtesting and I accidentally spawned the wrong Diverger. That shows that like the players need a way to correct that, because they're gonna make that mistake too. So I'm gonna add that to the list of things. Give me a moment here. We're gonna go to our list here and add a way for player to correct wrongly spawned Diverger. There we go. Then that'll be very simple, because I technically just have to reload the Diverger's data so it rechecks, and all I have to do is give the players the ability to do that, which is pretty easy because of EWP. If it wasn't for EWP, obviously, it wouldn't be so easy. But we live in the spoiled EWP world, so everything's fine. And here are the coins. Awesome. So I'm thinking I'm gonna get one of the bigger carts now. Recently we added some things, so yeah, we can get a super cart for 405 coins. I can't quite afford an ultra cart, so let's go with a super cart, because we already have the situation where there's too much nonsense inside the crypt for us to just loot everything at a reasonable pace, right? So let's see, we're gonna go in. Constev says, Valheim Cuisine Mod offers some nice food recipes with trophies as ingredients. Hey, that's cool. In general, I'm assuming that's a client-side mod. So players on Palm are free to use pretty much whatever client-side mods they want. But in general, yeah, when it's mechanical, I'm so interested in changing things with EWP that I don't really like, I don't have much interest in using mods personally that change the client experience. Although players are welcome to on Path of Magic. I don't like stop that. But like I like the UI mods, like the quality of life stuff. But when it comes to like adding new ingredients and recipes, I just personally don't have much interest in it. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's not like I think it's bad or anything. I think it's more like I get more interested in the things I can actually change. And in EWP, you can't add recipes because they're handled on the client. So it's like it doesn't exist to me, basically. And I like finding other ways to use the trophies as well. In general, I follow this philosophy with game design where everything should have at least 3 ways to do it. That way you accommodate a lot of different play styles. For example, like if you want to get iron, you could like do other things and then swap. I'm in the crypt, right? That's one way to get it. But you could actually just kill goblins, and then there's a way to get iron from the black metal, right? So you can do that, and you can also purchase iron using coins. So you could do something else to get coins and then buy iron that way. Although it's pretty expensive to do it that way. But that's the general idea. Like, you want more options for players so that even when they have different play styles, they still have, like, a choice, right? Whereas if you only have one way to do stuff, then typically it's going to be aggravating to somebody. And you sort of have to make a trade-off. But it's easier said than done, obviously, because all the systems can interact with each other. And that can be great, honestly. Sometimes, like, things interact and it's in an unexpected way, and it is absolutely incredible. A lot of systems on Palm are from that. Like, they're an accident that ended up working. But you never know. Sometimes it's the opposite. Something interacts and it, like, makes something unplayable for other players, and that's obviously the opposite of what you actually want. So here we have Guck bombs, or ooze bombs rather, that trigger a explosion that does damage to things like trees and iron scraps, right? So that's why I'm able to just clear these mud piles by throwing these bombs at them. And I really like that mechanic because the mud piles themselves drop a lot of these leather scraps, and you get a lot of ooze from this place. So you end up getting stuff that you actually can use to make more of the bombs. So it makes like a cycle, if that makes sense. And that's something I try and pay a lot of attention to, is like making cycles so the player's like getting stuff but then spending it as well, instead of just accumulating a lot of different things. Dang, this guy's got health. Ooh. Ooh, lava blob. Alright, 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 alright. Hey, 2-star lava blob, you can calm down, mister. Do you count as an undead? He does count as an undead. No, don't blow my card up. No, 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 don't do it, don't do it. Ah! You bastard. No, oh no. I can't rebuild it or anything. I lost the money. Literally, I was like, he's gonna die. Okay, whatever. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, stuff happens, and you don't even necessarily realize it's, like, possible. But then you make a system, and then it enables a new kind of situation to come up. And that just makes Valheim a little bit more interesting. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what happened on Path of Magic, but tin itself basically became super scarce. Even though I have it set up to respawn, like all the other metals, but tin for some reason just doesn't respawn. So like the only way to get tin is like by finding it in crypts or purchasing it, basically. Which is completely accidental, but it ended up being quite a balanced thing because there isn't tin in the game anymore normally, so you have to use these other ways to get tin. But that, again, that was an accident, and I find that with EWP, a lot of it is like that. Like, you sort of have to pay attention and be open-minded. And then as long as you do that, there's going to be situations that come up that work out in your favor, even though you didn't actually plan on them, right? Jake in the bushes says he's off to work. Yesterday he went in on time and reinforced why he's always late. It stood for 30 minutes to get sent elsewhere. Yeah, I feel you, man. There was a time a while ago, I think, I had the more stereotypical life. I had like a place I rented and kind of situation like that, and worked all the time, drove a car, you know, had like 10 hours of work, didn't have much of a life outside of my job, and I was like, fuck this is stupid. Like, it's like, and the same nonsense happens. Like, that's what companies do, you know? Like, the reality is, like, maybe 1 out of 20 companies is worth working for. All the other ones are, like, borderline abusive and mistreating all of their employees. And then we live in a world where people are so, like, desperate for money, and everyone needs money, and everyone's obsessed about careers because they need to put food on the table and all this nonsense. You know, it's, like, understandable stuff, but at the same time, I don't know, life's short, and sometimes you have to put yourself into an uncomfortable situation for life to reform in a better way around you. So, like, personally, that's what happened to me. I was able to, like, get out of the system, but not through my own efforts or achievements. Like, I got out of the system because my dad died, I got incredibly sick, all sorts of other stuff happened that made me no longer attached to life in the same way that other people are. So then I was able to just leave and go somewhere else without feeling like there was anything stopping me. Whereas most other people can't do that, you know, because they have so many other things going on. They haven't been forced into the uncomfortable uncertainty. And once you're forced into it, like, well, your life can change more easily. But obviously, like, it's very uncomfortable. So who wants to do that, right? But for now, I need to get more coins because I'm not going to bother trying to loot these crypts without a proper cart, because they're insane. Like, there's so many different kinds of items. It's so much treasure. It's much more of an enjoyable experience with a proper cart. So we can see here that we are a tiny bit short of a proper cart. Let's see, do we have any other? We do. We have some coins hidden somewhere. Maybe here. Let's see. There are some coins somewhere in a chest. Maybe like 50, just lying around. Hey, there we go. We want 405 for another cart because that very rude lava blob blew up our base. Definitely didn't appreciate that, or blew up our cart. And because the cart is summoned, you can't just like rebuild the cart. So when it gets blown up or destroyed inside the place, then you actually lose it. I don't know why that visual effect shows up every time. He was just a typically rude lava blob. They're all like that. Well, he was a 2-star lava blob. I feel like they're ruder, you know what I mean? Because the carts have more health, but that it didn't matter. Like, he just completely wrecked. Completely wrecked that cart. Alright. The carts, you do have to be a little careful. Like, if you spawn them, like, right in the wall or something, it can literally, like, spawn in a way that it clips and is unusable. So you have to make sure that you summon them in these open rooms for the best cart experience, let's say. So here, let's put all of our nonsense away here. And now we should be good to grab all the stuff from earlier. And I'm already excited because you haven't seen the splitter at work and the forge automatically sorting the iron and piling it, and it is freaking awesome. So I'm excited to show that off. But I need a bunch of iron to do it properly, so that's why I'm here. I need to get like a couple hundred iron. Constev says, yeah, Mr. Bungles mentioned that you have a special attitude to life and game design. Skull. Hey, that's a nice way to put it. Well, he was being polite. It's funny. It's I think I seem to have found like a community that is accepting of my different ways, let's say. Whereas in the past, oh yeah, that was I don't know why I thought I could kill him quickly. In the past, I really struggled, especially when I lived in the U.S. and I was around more societal people. And when I say societal, I really don't mean to be offensive in any way. I'm not saying that people who have to work more normally are doing the wrong thing. I'm just saying that for me, I was miserable, and when I lived that way, I sort of wanted to die, and I hated my life. So personally, I didn't like it at all, and it was very motivating for things to change. But that being said, like, I'll be honest with you, when you start living differently, it's not as easy as you think it's gonna be. So, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with my life. I love my life. But I had to isolate myself from a lot of people in order to be like this. And I've hurt a lot of people's feelings without trying to, because of the way that I live and because of the freedom I have. And I've found that ultimately, you have to build a life with what you already have and make the best of it and grow things. You have to look at your life and see what you have that you can use and you can grow. And you have to start there. And people don't do that. And that's their problem. They focus so much on all the things they don't have, the time they don't have, the career they don't have, the things that they don't have. And if only they had that thing, then they'd be able to do it. And I'm telling you, that attitude doesn't work. And you need to let go of that way of thinking and just focus on what you do have that you can do something about. If you don't have a good enough computer, you have to figure out how to make the computer that you use like good enough for what you're doing. Like, so you have to downscale what you're doing to match your computing ability, right? But most people don't do that. They're obsessed about like, oh, I can't even do this because I don't have a good enough computer, so I have to wait until I have a good enough computer to do the thing. But do you see what I'm getting at? Like, that mentality screws everybody because most people don't have enough support. They don't have what they need. So if you look at what you don't have, you're gonna find infinite reasons to not do anything about what's going on. And I find that to be distasteful. Rather, at least personally, it's not an easy way to live. And I used to think more that way. But I can be like abrasive to people sometimes. And the thing I was getting at, that like I'm so grateful for this like Valheim community, is because like I'm actually supported and like respected by some people. Whereas in my personal life, like, people like have respect for me, but they also think I'm batshit crazy, like literally. And like, because I don't value college degrees, I value your ability to be present and be happy. It really throws people off. Like, especially when I lived in the US, like, people need validation for the things that they've done that are societal. They need you to validate that they've worked hard for their college degree and they deserve a better life because of it. And if you don't do that, like, if you just treat people equally regardless, you basically piss off all of the educated, privileged people. So that's why I prefer to be here in Nicaragua, where things are like, people don't have as much, but they're more down to earth. And like, I find people to be happier here, even though they have way less material. Like, don't get me wrong, there is suffering. Like, for example, I walk to the grocery store every day, and I don't use a car, and I like talk to people in the street. I like know the people who don't have houses and are kind of homeless, that kind of thing. And that, like, they're like, a lot of them are like reasonable people. Like, they'll look you in the eye and they'll smile and they can hold a conversation with you. Like, I don't know about you, but I did the same thing in the US, and like, a lot of the homeless people there are super drugged. Like, I'm not saying everybody is, but like in the US, for example, I shadowed a homeless couple once, and I spent a whole day with them, and I was like, can you just like live your life and I follow along and you show me what it's like? And so they showed me, And it blew my mind because, like, homeless people there who have a drug addiction have to earn, like, more money per hour than people I know here in Nicaragua earn with college degrees. Like, I know that sounds messed up, but I literally lived in a country where it's so expensive to exist that even the homeless people earn more money from begging than the educated people from where I live now. Like, that just shows how absurdly different life is and how, like, everything changes with the money situation. But I understand. Like, I won't babble too much about this, but I know that a lot of people live in these more expensive countries, and, like, what can you do about it? You know, if you have family and kids especially, like, that's just how it is. That's where you are. But it's tough, right? Because you have to compete with so many other people, and they're all also having to pay all of these crazy bills, and that's very, very challenging. All right, now I'm gonna get back into Valheim here because I was babbling a little bit too much there, and this guy, he just yerked me last time, so let's try and not get nerked by his bullet attack this time. There we go. Hey, I got some magic. That's great. Whew. Alright, I think we're fine. Hey. Alright, Val said, why is my soul a wraith? And that's actually a small chance. So there's ghosts, basically. When you die, your soul becomes a ghost, and it shows up like a day later in the area that you died. If you're really unlucky, it doesn't become a ghost, it becomes a wraith. Something even worse, right? But it looks like we're doing better now, so I took care of that. We're actually making some progress on this crypt. Let's clear some of these here. Alright. Now you have to be careful, even though the ooze bombs, they work really well, right? But they clear the entire thing, which obviously then presents a whole new kind of problem. Uh-oh. These guys, they're so creepy. I get so dazzled by their flashiness. But then, and the way they just like calmly walk around, oh my gosh, it's like he doesn't even know I'm there. And then suddenly they just yurt me, like that rock almost, that was gonna kill me. Okay. Oh my gosh. That was terrifying. Wow. Alright, I need a moment here. Alright, Jake in the bushes says, I went from California to Oklahoma, and people seem to be nicer because it's cheaper. I can only imagine another country. Yeah, I mean, it's all circumstantial, you know? I mean, here in Nicaragua, people are really, really nice to foreigners for the most part. So you get kind of this weird sense of things, but then you see how, like, people treat each other, and, like, they're definitely not always nice to each other. So it's always good to, like, just, I don't know, in general, it's good to just treat people well. Doesn't really matter what they do, or even if they don't deserve it, like, then you should leave them alone. Even, like, when people are abrasive or obnoxious, in my experience, they have good reason to be. And, like, if you're actually in their life, you'd understand. So it's better to just give them the benefit of the doubt. I remember I saw this YouTube video once. It was like one of those, like, emotional 4-minute story videos, and it was like they showed this shopkeeper, and he would fight with this homeless guy, but then every night the homeless guy, like, slept outside of the stall and, like, protected the stall from thieves, right? But the shopkeeper didn't know that, so it would show, like, the camera footage and everything, and the whole point of the story was, like, you should just always treat people well, because you never really know. Well, really, it ends there. You should just treat people well. But if you want to reason with it and be logical, then you can take it further and say that you should treat people well because you never know what people are going through. And chances are they're going through something. If they're treating someone else unwell, there's probably a reason for that. Yeah, those freaking bullets. Oh, and now I have a soul? Okay. I see. I think I understand what was going on earlier. Too brutal. Too brutal. Well, now it's actually a proper episode because I gotta get chased by my own soul. Otherwise, I'm not really playing Path of Magic, am I? Nice. It's so much more satisfying to have, like, I can actually loot the crypt and explore things and move around, right? Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. And I died to the very danger I was warning you about, right? That you can clear the scrap piles quickly with these ooze bombs, but you have to be careful because you also... Interesting mechanic. I definitely enjoy that, to be honest. This mace is so strong. I'm happy. I'm happy with this mace. Hey! Someone on kick. Awesome. Jessica says, hey, oh no, it's one of those things. Oh no. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna ignore that. It's funny how, like, I'm definitely getting a sense for when there's the nonsense, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell when people are just making up nonsense. And there's a lot of advertising spam. And people try and seem very genuine and sincere. But pretty much, if they talk with grammar, and you don't recognize their name, they're a spammer. Basically. And I'm not even saying good grammar, I just mean like they write a paragraph, probably it's fake. Like, ooh! I love these lava blobs. Hey, they didn't get that Droger though. Hey, yeah, Mr. Droger, calm down, you and your stars. You wanna go? Yeah. Ah. This is the thing. You gotta get the spawners, otherwise they mess everything up. Double spawner. Was that it? Okay, I got lucky. I thought there was a wraith there. The wraiths are really the things that screw everything up, in all honesty. Once you have a wraith spawn, it's like, oh gosh. What now? Ow! That hurt. Oh! I always do this. Frickin' frost arrows. Alright. I'm gonna stay away from the frost arrows this time. I'm gonna be good. I got this. Totally got this. More spawners. It's always the spawners that cause the problem. Oof. Nice. So much loot here. I apologize for the darkness, by the way. I know that I've been like, in all the recent streams, I've just been like in the swamp, in the rain, in the sunken crypts, like the darkest places in Valheim. Alright, let's deal with this real... Oh, I can't remove them, can I? Yeah, because I can't make a workbench. So I can't... Oh no, I can because they don't need a workbench anymore. Alright, cool. Yeah, we should actually get some of this moving now because as you can tell, there's so much nonsense in the crypts that it's like a one crypt that doesn't have a blocked front is enough for like a whole bunch of resources. And that way, we can make it more impactful when you like build, you can make a build and get the material basically by just continuously raiding a dungeon nearby. So you can make a build near an infested mine or a fortress or whatever and then just keep redoing it as you need to. But we'll see how that goes in the future. For now, we're just sticking with the easier ones. And I'm mostly gonna take out the heavy stuff out of the inside cart here. This is sort of the system I've been working on, right? You just kind of have one cart on each side, and you just kind of loot things as you get full piles of them. Right? It's been quite fun. I find that this way I can enjoy the crypts more. Whereas if I don't do this, there's so much item management, I basically get pissed off. And for now, what we're going to do, actually, is we're going to start setting up the conveyor. Because I learned that it's not really good to convey items while you're up there. So I'll work on that later. But for now, we've made it so that we can load up the conveyor, and we have a bunch of iron, right? So what I'm going to do is start tossing stuff down onto this conveying section here. And this area, it's like made so it should catch extra stuff. Whereas before, I had to like aim and put it in the right place. Whereas now, we're just sort of tossing things. And hopefully it will work out. We'll see what happens. But I have a feeling it'll work. Although here I can already see a problem because this row relied on that fourth piece being there, but it got reset. See, it's not there anymore. So basically that row is disabled. It won't work. Whereas these ones will. So we'll just keep that back row on. And this should be fine. So now I should be able to just go and turn on the conveyor. But we need a conveyor foreman, which I think is going to be okay. Let's see. Depends how much treasure, how the treasure situation's going. Blood bags. Are these even sellable? I don't know if they're sellable. Let's see. Also the powder. Did I make the powder sellable? I don't think I did because it's not a monster drop. I'll have to add that. Yeah, I didn't add that one. Let's add that to the list. Game design, no, launch list. Here we go. Add pros powder to traders. Easy peasy. Alright. Then blood sacks, blood bags. Yeah, I mean, I guess we should be able to buy those too. Those accumulate. Obviously, they are useful for other things. But again, we want multiple uses for many things. So that's fine, personally. Just because you can sell the blood bags doesn't mean you have to, right? So these two things will be added. And then let's see. What else do we have that's sellable? Pretty much just this stuff. Alright. What are we working with? Yeah, okay. You see why this guy's notorious? That's why he has to be in a cage. He causes a bunch of problems. And that's also why I don't know what I'm gonna do with that one, to be honest, because he's gonna like wreck this base, and I don't fully know how I'm gonna deal with that. But for now, I guess it's okay, because I can't summon the next one. I still need a little bit more loot, so I guess I should go, and we're looking for more coins and things that are sellable here. So there's a bunch of stuff already in the crypt. Should be able to just grab it from there, I'd assume. Oh, we have some more rubies. That'll help. But we don't have enough of the other stuff yet, so I'm just going to keep running around and looting the things that have already been cleared here. Like all of this nonsense. We have some withered bones. These are all sellable. So they're actually worth looting now. And I think the withered bones sell for, like, if I remember right, I made them sell for a good amount of money because at first they weren't worth anything, and I was like, they're lame. But I already felt like they're lame. So now they're worth something so that we don't have to feel like they're so lame. Make sense? It's like when something doesn't have as much inherent value, you have to add more value to it to counter the fact that players already associate that item as being bad. Whereas when something is associated just as a normal item, you don't have to put as much effort into making it feel good. I know that may sound confusing, but that's the basic gist of it. Alright, got some coal there. So now I think I'll be able to, let's see, I got a full stack of rubies. And also, there was something else I got to stack up. Yeah, the withered bones, there we go. Alright, let's see. I think we're gonna get enough now. Yeah, that's 400 and then... Oh no, they're only 150 coins, huh? I guess I'll have to make it more than that. Because the withered bones, yeah, they need to be more. More than just 150. Because of what I was talking about. I guess I thought about doing it, but then I actually didn't do it. Hey, Mr. Verger, calm down. Calm down. You see what I mean? They're very problematic. These ones, in particular, are notorious for blowing holes in roofs and just wrecking everything. So you really have to be quite careful with them. They're honestly rather scandalous. Alright, let's see. Do we have enough coins? No, we are short by like 10 coins. That's pretty funny. Well, I can almost certainly find 10 coins just chilling in the crypt somewhere. Or something that can get me 10 coins. Almost certainly. Let's see, I guess maybe will we get lucky or unlucky? Lucky, no spawners. Oh, that didn't work. Bumbling around like a fool here. Alright. There we go, this'll work. Yeah! That's better. Alright. Anything from here? Withered bone, scrap iron. Oh, I brought all the coins with me? That was silly. Oh well. You never know what's going to be on the other side of the room. In this case, we got lucky. Nothing. What I really need, though, is more coins. Just a few more coins. Nothing crazy. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm asking for the whole cart. Just asking for 10 coins. It's a totally reasonable amount of coins. Sometimes they're just like lying on the floor somewhere in the corners. But now there's just stuff I have from before. Alright. Feel like I'm not gonna get lucky here. Nope. I'm gonna use my last silver arrow. Oh no! Brutal. Oh, that poison's gonna kill me. Yep, that poison's gonna kill me. It's okay, it's okay. I have just accepted that I will die. I have died many times before, and I will die many times more. It is what it is. Ooh! At least there wasn't a wraith ganking me that time. We just need a few more coins. This is a recurring theme. You see how I've made so many ways to get coins, yet I'm still always running out of coins. Oh, classic. Alright. How should I handle this? I suppose I should take advantage of my empty inventory and go bring the heavy stuff. Whoa, I don't want to pick that up. No, thank you. No, thank you. Because once we get like one pile of ancient bones, something like that, then we're good. And there's probably already enough of that stuff lying around. Just have to find it. Sometimes you don't see the items that are loose on the ground because they're actually under the water, right? So that can be a little bit tricky. That gets to me sometimes. But aside from that, it looks like... Yeah, okay. We went the other way and then got ganked by all of those monsters. But I think I cleared most of them, so maybe I can get away with actually looting this. Let's put this out. Alright. Jake in the bushes says, I found the queen's chest now. I need to stack. Yeah, the queen's chest. That one, you need a lot of coins. I think you need 10,000 coins to do the queen's chest on Path of Magic. That one also uses a different trigger. So it uses this thing. You see that little like animation that shows up? It uses that instead of the same mechanism as all the other chests. But at some point I'll update those because I actually got better at it since I made that system, and now I can make things much faster. But that system is still the old system. I really enjoy this mechanic, to be honest. There's something thrilling about like what was behind it. Were there a bunch of enemies? And it's nowhere near as tedious as just like picking at the thing over and over and over again, you know what I mean? Alright. Yeah, I'm feeling good about this. We got plenty of iron from this crypt. I was able to show off a bunch of different mechanics. So now you see that you can reset the whole crypt, right? For 999 coins. And you get more than 999 coins from a crypt almost always, unless the front entrances are totally blocked. Then in that situation, you don't get more. But most of the time, the crypts are actually quite deep because we made them spawn 3 times as big on Path of Magic. So you'll find that you more often find deeper dungeons. It's not a guarantee, you can still find shallow dungeons. It's just less common, right? Was that it? Wait, was that the whole crypt? Let's see. This area is done. Then we have that area to the right is blocked. So this is our only open pathway. So we can either go right or left. Yeah, Bal, I added it last night. Bal says, wait, we can reset instances. Well, not instances, but... Alright. Yeah, so we added that recently. Because I realized, like, yeah, it is nice that things respawn on Path of Magic, but what if the players could pay something to do the respawn themselves, right? And I thought it was all complicated, but then it turns out, you know, it's just an upgrade world command. And Raka actually had a script already. He had it set up to be a say command, so all I did was change it so it responds to building a pile of 999 coins. Aside from that, it's the same stuff. That script's actually really, really simple. So Ping mentioned, said, guys, the round fence spots are the plots for building, right? And he's talking about the, like, plots that you'll find when you join Path of Magic. There's these, like, fenced circular areas. And yeah, they're for building. You can build outside of them. The idea with them is to help encourage players to spread out a bit so that we don't end up with one town that is, like, so laggy nobody can go there. Because that's what happens when players just build bases right next to each other. So that's all that the plots are on Path of Magic. It's just a way to encourage players to spread out. But it's not like it's the only place that you can build them or anything. So you're pretty much free to do what you want. Alright, there we go. The classic situation, right? I cleared it out and then got wrecked. Uh-oh. Oh! As soon as I saw that 2-star skeleton draw its bow, I was like, oh no. Oh. I love it though. I get all comfortable with the explosives and then they just completely floor me. And this, to be honest, this is about, this is what I'm going for with the difficulty, where like if you don't pay attention, like me for example, when I start narrating, like I get sidetracked, right? And then I die because something wrecks me. Even though I have really powerful arrows, I have gear that should, you know, make it so that the things are so easy. And this is how I like it, to be honest. I'm having a good time. And I like how many resources you can get out of the crypts this way. It's really cool. And let's see. Ping said, nah, that's alright. I found a good one by the shore. I'll build a huge dock. Hey, I think I know the one you're talking about. I did place all of those, and I tried to look for ones that are in, like, cool spots. So there's actually some that are, like, really far out of the way that are just, like, a random one. And if you're lucky, the fence is invincible. If you're lucky. But obviously, a lot of times, people aren't lucky. I'm just gonna get my rested bonus. Give me a moment. All right. There we go. Now I should be solid. And I love it when you're in a dungeon and you think you got the last part of the dungeon. You know what I mean? Like you feel like that was it and it's all over now. That is my favorite. So would I go for it like, whoa, sorry. It's my favorite when that happens and you think it's over, but then it turns out that there was actually a lot more to the dungeon than you realized. That is basically my favorite situation. So anytime that's happening, I'm happy. In this case, I think I went down here and I died. No, it was the other way. Bear with me. I will say that these crypts seem to be a little bit easier to navigate than the burial chambers. Because the burial chambers can actually go like up and down. Whereas the sunken crypts, I don't think I've ever seen them do that, to be honest. Because they have the water, right? So they have to stay on like one axis. Ooh. There's a bunch of nonsense over there. Uh-oh. Oof, oof, oof. I'm glad I have Corptron here. There's definitely a spawner over there. Oof. So glad I have bubble blocking. Definitely much more manageable with bubble blocking. Let's see. Ping says, we've just finished a no map, no portal run a few days ago, so they were looking to settle down somewhere and retire. Hey. It's a good place for that, to be honest. People tend to enjoy Path of Magic more when they're into building. So that's kind of also one of the angles I've gone for, is like make Path of Magic a more rewarding place to build. Because one of the problems I believe that base Valheim has is Valheim players are perpetually over preparing for things that they're never gonna do. So typically, people will build a really awesome big place and then they'll get all excited about it, make it really useful, and then no one uses it. And that's kind of not as fun as when places actually get used. And like players know that, right? So when you build something and like you log back in and you see there's beds in the place you built and people have been using it and like some of the food's gone, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but most people love that. Like, it makes the building feel alive. The problem, though, is that for most people, they can't get that experience because they end up building everything, making it all work, and then they get burned out, they stop playing, and no one uses the building. And then by the time they join in the future, people just want to restart from the beginning. They don't want to start on an old world. So it makes the actual experience of building something that is useful sort of out of reach for the Valheim player base. And that's one of the reasons that, or one of the attitudes on Path of Magic, is trying to counter that and have like this loop where building is not just more enjoyable, but there's a high chance that someone's going to like come across your base at some point and they're going to be lost. So your base is going to provide them with shelter and like, ooh, all right, big guy. All right. You can calm down. And I knew that was gonna happen. I could see the thought forming in my mind, and I was like, no, that thought's gonna distract me, and it did. But what I was trying to say is that on a no map, no portal world, it's very different. And like on no portal worlds, to be honest, it's people really don't use bases as much. That's another reason I have sort of more problems with portals. Because don't get me wrong, I understand why players like portals, but I very much view it as one of those subjects that like players are gonna want the most convenient thing for them, always. You can't just listen to them. I mean, you can, but there's gonna be consequences for that. And like, personally, I don't think that portals adds to the Valheim experience. What it does is it speeds up the Valheim experience. You can progress faster, you can get to the end faster, but like Valheim's a sandbox game where you need to build the value anyway. So like, is it really that good to be able to just progress to the end? Like, I get that people want to be able to say they beat Valheim, and that's like how most players do things, but from like an honest, blunt game dev perspective, I don't know if portals are actually as necessary as people feel like they are. It's just people are used to the convenience, and because they still have the convenience, like, they feel like that is what the game is, but it's actually a very shallow version of the game where a lot of the mechanisms and things that you would do and the experiences that you'd get are completely bypassed. Because like Valheim as a game, it works by building the world around you as you explore. Like, you as the player, you think that the world's already there, but it's not. Like, the monsters and everything, they generate around you as you move. Without the player moving around, there is no world generating. And like, by portaling, you bypass a fundamental part of the game that spawns everything. So you don't get the effects of like when you have a long path, for example, and you have active players running up and down the path, you end up with monsters along the path. You end up with ambushes. All sorts of different things happen, and these crazy events unfold. But when you have portals, none of that happens. You just go from place A to place B, and that's it. And like, I get it, but at the same time, like, I guess this is my philosophy, right? Like, I do think that is something that causes people in the long run to enjoy Valheim less, you know? They think they need the portals, but really they're just used to the portals because the developers put it in. And like it's not really necessary. Like, and I don't, okay, I'll make one more argument about this and then I'll move on. The thing that I really, really like about building and no portals is that the buildings are actually influenced by the region that they occur in. When you have portals, it's like you just have whatever you have access to. So the buildings are based on your progression. Whereas without portals, the buildings are based more on what is abundantly near you, right? And like in this case, for example, this building can have loads of iron and like iron beams and iron cages because it's literally in the swamp with a crypt right here that is full of iron. So it's gonna make an abundant supply of iron. That means that this area will be iron influenced because iron is plentiful here. Whereas when you go somewhere else where there's no access to iron like that, like earlier on in the path or in the progression, then the buildings look different, right? It like fundamentally changes the way you sail, the way you transport goods, the way the game itself behaves. So personally, that's why I love no portals so much. Honestly, like, I think no portals is even more important than no map mode, but they're both really awesome for long-term immersion. Like, really, really awesome. And like, I think maybe on single player it's not as necessary, but in something like this, like a server, you can make your server last longer by keeping it interesting, but also being no map, no portals. It's just literally just going to last longer purely because of the fact that it's no map, no portal. Because players just can't progress as quickly. They can't explore as suddenly. So they don't have the convenience to getting bored as quickly. It's more likely that people are going to leave because they're used to being good at Valheim, and they can't play no map, no portals mode, and it makes them feel like they're not good at Valheim, so they get grumpy and they quit. Like, that definitely happens. Like, definitely that happens. But it's not your fate, you know? It really depends on the person. Depends on how much time you have as well. So, I definitely, like, you know, I respect that other people have other preferences, and I'm not trying to say that, you know, no portals, no map is the only way to play Valheim. But it is absolutely my favorite way to play Valheim. Oh, I knew he was gonna get me. The moment I hit him back and he went to the wall, I had that Dark Souls moment. You know, in Dark Souls where you like, you see the enemy pull the sword back and you're like, no, and then you die. You just get that feeling, and once that feeling happens, it's over. But now, I think we probably have enough coins that I can actually summon a trader. So I want to do that, because I'm a little combated out, and I've been talking so much that I'm not really paying as much attention to fighting. So it's a good time to actually move on to summoning the conveyor, because I haven't shown you how incredible it is to see the iron bars getting smelted and sorted and then dumped. And all you have to do is turn on a button and the machine handles everything. It is absolutely awesome. Val says I need a death counter for each stream. Good point. That would be pretty funny. I think that's possible, actually. I could set that up. But for now, we are going to just find my body. And then I think I probably have enough. Yeah, I have enough bone fragments already, just in bone fragments alone, to get more coins. Yeah, awesome. All right, let's do that, because then I can show you the iron, and it is so cool. And I'm ready to do that now. I've been in this crypt enough, and also for video purposes, just showing you dark inside crypts. I mean, you know, it's kind of lame, isn't it? So here we have a problem, because this blacksmith is here, and he is very, very, very destructive. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of gonna let him free, and he's just gonna do his thing, probably go to town on leeches and cause us problems later. Bye. Good luck in the swamps, my friend. Well, that's one way to clear the water. He is so destructive. And you are not coming back in here. You are no diverger allowed anymore. And now what we need, because I had that forge up there, and that was causing this guy to turn into a blacksmith when I want him to be a foreman, right? But now, he should actually spawn as a foreman, so it'll be fine. I just need to sell the bone fragments. I'm gonna do that over here, though. Here we are. We just pop. There we go. Now we have enough coins that we can actually make a coin pile. So boom, we make our coin pile. And then in theory, we're gonna summon this, and it's gonna be a conveyor foreman. Oh no, sorry, I have to say trader. And hooray! Okay, this time it worked properly. So now I need to make sure he stays in place, because he's about to show off some really cool mechanics. Welcome, Trello viewer, welcome. I see you there. Hello, hello. I am playing on a very, very special, technically vanilla-friendly modded server. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? How can a modded server be vanilla-friendly? Yeah, whole new world of Valheim. You can now mod a server, and people join on vanilla clients and have a different experience. And what kind of experience? Well, look at this. This is a conveyor as part of a whole factory to smelt iron. We've been raiding this sunken crypt over here and taken material that can be smelted from the sunken crypt and tossed it onto this conveyor over here, right? And for good measure, let's see, I think there's I think there's a little bit more iron right here, because this system can handle loads of iron. There's no sense in leaving too much of it lying around. So let's see, what do we got in the cart? Yeah, here we go. We got some more iron we can smelt. Let's deal with my encumbrance for a moment. And now, oh yeah, I'm excited. I've been having so much fun with this conveyor system. It's something that Dakar built, and I've been playtesting and modifying a lot. And so when like I encounter an issue that I can't figure out, I just show Dakar and he helps me figure out what to adjust. And at this point, the conveyors are like very usable. There's only one other thing I want to do with them before they're like really ready for like players to use them and not have to kind of know what's going on, and you can still figure it out. And that last thing is that right now, if you leave the conveyor on, it can sort of cause some problems. So I need to make it so it can turn off automatically, which is actually pretty simple. It's not like some overcomplicated thing. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. All right, so we have all of our metal. It's over here. We have our conveyor foreman. He's set up. We have all of these. Most of them are already loaded with coal. So we should just be able to turn on the conveyor, just like this. There we go. Now the conveyors will start conveying. Boom, just like this. And in theory, we'll have to see, but in theory, basically the stuff will convey over here, right? And then it'll start filling up all of these smelters. And once all of the smelters are full of the scrap, I can then turn the conveyor off, go back into the crypt, and then come back down. Oh my god, just look at this. It's so funny. Does anyone else get as much amusement out of this as I do? Like, I know this is simple, but to see this happening and know that it's fully server side and I don't need any mods, it's just awesome. Like, it's so inspiring. And now look, yeah, this is the moment of truth, right? The Congo line reaches the smelters and it starts filling them up. So we should see that one activate, and then this next one should activate, and then the next one. Isn't that cool? Like, it's honestly almost shocking how well it works. And then as soon as everything's loaded up, basically, it looks like we have some excess here, see? But everything's full, so that means we had more than enough to fill everything up. So now that everything's loaded, we can basically just turn off the conveyor. There you go. And now we can go back up. But we've loaded up all of these smelters, so that's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, right? That's 160 iron that we're basically auto smelting. And now I can go back into the dungeon, basically, and I can continue to loot it, but this time the stuff is already smelting, right? So after I spend some time looting in here, we're gonna go back outside and run the conveyor, and that's when you're gonna see the true magic moment, which is seeing the smelted metal bars. Oh gosh, terrifying. Don't do it, Mr. Twitcher. Don't do it, don't do it. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. Oh gosh, he's gonna get me. No, 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 no. Ah! The bullet. That bullet attack. I'm glad that this Twitcher's kind of chill, to be honest. He's like, yeah, you're kind of chill. Uh-oh. Oh. It's like, it saved me, but it also hurt me. There we go. Alright, alright, I got this. I got this. Ooh, that was nerve-wracking. Yeah, and so the enemies loot gets converted into scrap. So when you find more enemies, technically if you want, you could make it a continuous supply of iron scrap by just fighting the enemies. And that is purposeful. I know it may sound out of balance, but in general, we've been trying to give the players a lot of control over stuff that they don't normally have access to, but it just seems to work better this way. Yeah, look at all this loot. This is great. See, I can tell it's working with me now, though, because I'm getting more interested. Like, I can feel it. I actually care about looting everything because it's all sellable. The only thing I don't care about is the yellow mushrooms, to be honest. So maybe I should make those sellable too. Why not? Really, the only thing that can't be sellable is like carrots and anything that the player can craft exponentially can't be sellable. But everything else can be, and you can't grow the mushrooms. So in all honesty, it might be a good solution there. Hey, we got some silver ore at some point. That is awesome. I'm just gonna put away all these hammers. I have too many, I don't need them. And we'll bring down the cart as well. Alright, here we are. We got our super cart. Let's see. I'm digging this mace too. This thing's become pretty strong. I feel like this was like a solid room. It's got a bunch of stuff in it. Let's see, we have this chest, more rubies. And rubies are a lot of coins. Like 10 rubies is 200 coins. Plenty is even more than that. Oh no! Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't do it. That's the first chaos hair on stream. That's really funny. Too bad I know what they do. Hey, a box of crystal. Interesting. That's funny. We actually got loot from the chaos hair. That's lucky. Nice, nice, nice. Alright. There we go. And I guess the supercart's looking kind of full. But I still have more stuff to look at here. So let's see what's going on here. This room. Alright, let's see, let's see. See how this goes. Am I too close? Let's see. No, not too close. Awesome. Yes. Star Soul the Chaos Bunny, yeah. Yeah, the others don't know what they do, and I'm in a dungeon, so the effect doesn't actually work the same on a dungeon, but it's very confusing. There was actually a clip, if you watch, I think Jake. Yeah, Jake was in one of the mountain caves on his stream, and then he finds a Chaos Bunny, and it starts doing its thing, and he's like, it makes it look like the mountain cave is collapsing. Which is like, it made me be like, dang. That's really interesting. Like, what if there was a mechanic in the caves where, like, you could start a collapse, and if you didn't get out of the cave, you died. I'm not gonna do that, obviously. I don't need to make things harder for people. It's already hard enough. But, that being said, it is quite an amusing concept, right? Alright, so how are we doing now? We got all this stuff. That's been looted. This area is clear. I think we have finally done this crypt. I do believe. So let's take our cart back here. I think there's one more wing that I may have not cleared. But let's see. Yeah, this wing. Okay, I see. Oh, whoa, no, there's a whole area. That's right. Ah, yes, a whole bunch of nonsense. Okay. Blue mushrooms. Ooh, nice. We're getting lucky on these chest rolls. The chests are like what determine how much iron you really get. Especially in vanilla. It's like all about how many chests are filled with a 30 stack of iron. Because you could get 10 chests and they each have iron, so you get 300. Or you could get no chests in the entire crypt, but it's huge. Or the chests don't have any iron in them, and then you get like nothing. Whereas on Path of Magic, there's so many monsters that spawn things. So you end up getting loads of iron. And that was actually after we updated it, because before, players weren't getting more iron when the crypt was harder. So now, the more monsters in the crypt, the more iron you get, basically. That way, the harder the crypt is, pretty much because of spawners, then you get more iron, so it's like worth it. Or at least that, in theory, it's worth it. That's the idea. Let's see, so I'm looking for stuff that's heavy. We're looking pretty full, actually, and there's still a solid amount of nonsense here. Look at all this. Still got some scrap iron. There's some more rubies. This whole entire chest worth of stuff. And then there's that whole room as well. But it looks like this is the final end of the crypt. And that is going to make things... Probably, I'd say we have enough iron to actually, like, frame things out now. Although I see I mistitled this video because I was supposed to frame things, but then I ended up using up all the iron I needed, so I needed to do this adventure anyway. So, it's okay. It is what it is. Now, where's the heavy stuff? I have something really heavy. Is it this stuff? Inventory management. You know, I have been thinking about maybe I should just get one of those client mods that increases my inventory size just for the sake of the stream. Because then I'm not like organizing my inventory so much, which is sort of pointless to do on stream, to be honest. Like, I get that Iron Gate considers that part of the game, but I personally, I don't like that part of the game. Like, I don't view like 2D UI management as like an effective part of the gameplay loop. But again, that's just my philosophy. Some people really enjoy that stuff. Oof! You almost got me there, you little devil. You almost got me. I guess I should use the bell, actually. It'd be faster. Alright, what are we working with here? Got loads of nonsense here. I'm gonna unload. Let's take care of that. Boom, boom, boom. Nice, nice. Awesome. Yeah, that's true, Star. So there's quests for different boats, and you can get all sorts of powers from the boats. And one of the quests is for a special longship that has loads of storage space, and it makes mining easier and gives you, it's like to move things. So it gives you the fader buff, which gives you more carry weight, and I think also movement speed. So it's like literally perfect for this kind of thing. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but hey, now all of these are done. All right, now we can really see. Watch this. We're gonna turn on the conveyor, and they'll start conveying the output iron, right? And we're gonna fill up the coal, because we have crap loads of coal in chests nearby. So it's pretty easy to just go around and manually fill it this way. Otherwise, I'd have to throw it on the conveyor. And then, oh, this is the best part. You come over here, and what's this? What's this? Iron bars just falling down here, and then look, they're not even one, they're full stacks, right? Isn't that cool? Honestly, this is like the craziest part of it. It's absolutely awesome. Hey, Jake in the Bushes says he left 60 iron through the portal. Ah, okay, so if I go through this portal, which I've now locked off, I can't even easily get there. But Jake says there's 60 more iron over there, so let's see if I can get up there. Oh, let's see. Probably. I'll just need a hammer. Set that up here. We're gonna make just a little temporary little thing right here. There we go. Nice. Now, Jake says that on the other side of the portal, it's always messed up when you first go there. But after you go there once, then you'll actually teleport to the proper area. Here, supposedly, there is 60 iron just chilling. Probably, I would guess, down here. Nope. Oh, maybe it's in that chest. Nope. Let's see. He said, I left 60 iron in the tree through the portal. In the tree through... Oh, maybe in that spot. I see, I see. I didn't even realize there's like a whole new area up here now. Okay. In the tree, in the tree. This looks like in the tree, sort of. Hey, oh no, it's smelted iron. I see, I see. Well, I'll just leave this here. I thought it was like iron scraps to be smelted. Maybe there are. I feel like there are somewhere. I didn't understand the in the tree comment. But for now, we're just going to go back. Yeah, Star says, I don't know if I've noticed the movement buff. And oh, I left the conveyor on. That was bad. It's alright though, it worked out. But basically, yeah, the fader buff increases your movement speed by 10%, I believe. Something like that. It's not just carry weight, it also does other stuff. Hey, whoa, that's cool. Isn't that crazy? You see, we have our little sorters here. Look at this, some tin went through. But you can see it takes the smelted stuff. Very, very cool, isn't it? And then here, the extra coal from some other things gets separated. And so you can pretty much, you can put something in here, and that makes that thing get separated. It's absolutely awesome. Very, very, very fun. Alright, so now we can turn this back off. These have all been loaded up. And we can get back to looting the rest of the crypt. I'm just gonna put some stuff away here. Alright. Fantastic. Let's see, it's 8:50 now. Alright. Alright, everybody, that's it for this episode. I ended up just getting the stuff. So the next episodes will be all about building. And right now I will go, and maybe I'll do another stream later on. We'll see how it goes. But I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned because I'll be working on more tutorials and these kind of things. So I'll see you in the next episode. And if you're interested in playing on Path of Magic, it is free to play and try out. Anybody is welcome to come here, whether you want to progress for a long time or you want to just be there for a week, you know? It's all about whatever you enjoy, and the server's set up so that lots of different people can be playing in different places. Your progression has nothing to do with anyone else's. So if this kind of thing seems interesting for you, or you want to try it out, then go to town. You are welcome here, even if you're just going to work on your own server and you want to come and have experiences on Path of Magic. That's fine as well. It's all encouraged, because really what I'm trying to do is spread awareness of this awesome mod that is Expand World Prefabs. It really gives us the power to make Valheim into the game we want Valheim to be. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching another episode of The Path of Magic. All of the crazy nonsense that you've been seeing so far has been done with Expand World Prefabs. Expand World Prefabs is a fantastic server-side BepInEx mod developed by Yair. And if it wasn't for Yair's hard work, none of this would be possible. So I strongly encourage you to support Yair if you can. And if you're interested in supporting my work, there's two ways that you can do so. By getting your own dedicated Valheim server at Zap Hosting. I've got lots of tutorials showing you how to set everything up, and it doesn't even take that long. All you'll need to do is go to the link in my description, zaphosting.com/jpvalheim. That'll get you set up with the BepInEx server straight away, and then you just need to change a couple config files, and I have all of the information that you need for that. The second way is to support me on Patreon, and you can just check out the link in the description below if you're interested in doing that. I understand that some of you might want to support me, but, you're not going to get a server to do so, so here you go. Now you have a way to do it. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next episode of The Path of Magic. Bye-bye.